Welcome back, Rainmakers, to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and today we're going to be talking about Launchpad projects, and I'm going to tell you exactly why they're on my mind during this time frame that we're looking at. If you follow my channel, you know that I'm really interested in what crypto is going to do for the next 6 to 12 months, and possibly even 6 months after that. But if you have followed my channel, you know that I was an investor in 2017 that made some massive gains in 2017, only to see most of those gains evaporate through what we call the crypto winter. And so, like I often say, timing isn't just important, timing is everything. Also, in this amazing time that we're in, some things are going to do better than others. Some projects might 2 or 3 or 4x, which is fantastic. But at the same time, other projects might 10x or 20x or 50x or 100x. So I don't know about you. I'm always asking myself, what has the best chance to 50 or 100x or 100x plus? And I'm always looking at, okay, what is that and how much do I think that's going to happen? Because I would love to get more returns like that and be involved in more projects like that. And so that brings us to our topic of the day, which is Launchpad projects. So without further ado, let's get this whole party started. Join me, Rainmakers. Alright everyone, Launchpad projects. I'm going to take you through some of the different Launchpads out there. These are just the biggest things that are going on. There are more coming down the road, but I'm going to take you through the most well-known ones, and some of them I know very well. I'm going to start with my favorites and go to the side. That doesn't mean some of the ones at the end don't have good things, it's just I don't know them as well. So let's get started with my favorite, which is Duck Dao, which I have covered a few times. I love the team behind this, and they continue to deliver value not only to their pre-sale and other investors, but to the projects themselves. So DuckDAO.io is the website, and here are some of the projects that they have incubated. Now, we don't know exactly how these are going to do because they haven't hit the open market for their prices. But we do know how these did, and Base and Bondly and DeFi Pi, Pools, Geek, Fuse, they did phenomenal returns. I think Base did over 100x from the pre-sale pricing, and so DuckDAO has been hitting home runs. Now, there's a way to participate in their pre-sales, and you have to hold their DDIM token. I think the lowest amount that you can hold and still participate in their pre-sales is 10 DDIM, gets you into what's called the Fight Club. So the best way to find out more is you've got to get to their Telegram. So come to their website and find out how to get to their Telegram. I might be able to grab a link for you and put that in the description below. But you have to hold 10 DDIM tokens in order to get into the Fight Club to participate in those. Just know it's great, but you have to be right there at your computer to be able to participate in that. To get into the higher tiers, you have to hold a heck of a lot more than 10 DDIM tokens. So 10 DDIM tokens, last I checked, they're trading about $80, so about $800 in their tokens alone. And that will often get you an allocation between $100, $200, $300 at pre-sale pricing. Now you're like, wow, it's such a small allocation. And it is, because you'll probably spend $40 in Ethereum fees just getting that transaction to try to go through. However, a lot of their projects from their pre-sale pricing have 10x, 15x, 20x, 50x, and 100x. So let's just say it does 25x and you're able to get an allocation of $200. Well, then that means it went to $5,000. So as much as we all hate the Ethereum gas fees, well, you still did really well, right? Now, they have taken some major moves that's going to eliminate that problem. It just takes time for these things to come about. And if you watched my videos before, you saw the announcement with DuckDAO and Orion protocol, where they're going to be adapting their Launchpad to operate right on Orion protocol, which will help get rid of those gas fees, which will be fantastic not only for DuckDAO investors and the ducks involved with the DuckDAO projects, but it'll be great for Orion protocol too. That announcement was mind-blowing. As well as a second incubator also made the same agreement with them. I wouldn't be surprised, and it would be smart if just about all the incubators did the same thing. But the guys at DuckDAO are usually ahead of the curve. So I'm not surprised that they were the first ones to recognize a better way to solve this problem. Now, when is that all going to come about? Takes a little bit of a while. Orion protocol, there is a link below, and if enough people use that link to get an account or send in an email, that will help get me access to Orion protocol's system so that I can test it out before it goes live. So they measure how many people click on that link. If they decide you have enough, they will then give you access so you can test out and participate in the beta test of Orion protocol's system, which I would love to do because then I can give you better information. So if you're interested in me being able to get a hold of that, go ahead and follow that link below, and that will get me beta access. And I appreciate it because I'm excited with what Orion is going to do in the future, not just the token price appreciation they've seen. So back to Duck Dao, that was a fantastic partnership. They have a secondary thing that can get you involved in, it's not true pre-sale pricing, it's slightly above the pre-sale pricing, but let me go through this. These are many upcoming projects for Duckstarter.io, and to participate in Duckstarter, you have to hold a certain amount of tokens, Duck tokens, not the DDIM tokens, but the Duck tokens, and then you stake them on the website to be eligible to get into some of their upcoming projects. Now, Shadows Network just recently launched a couple days ago, and the returns were phenomenal. I think if you were at the base level, you were able to get $200 worth of tokens. There was a gas war, and not everybody got in because you had to be quick on the draw and get your transaction accepted before the pool filled up, and it filled up in a matter of seconds. So those who were successful in getting that through were able to get $200 worth of tokens at a price of, I think, 12 cents. And if we look at how Shadows is trading now, $3.44. So your $200 essentially, well, if you include the gas fees, went about 25x from what you put in. So it went from $250, went 25x. Boy, that math is getting complicated, but fair to say that's like $6,250. That's awesome. And that was just in a matter of like a day, actually, because right after that, the initial DEX offering happened, and the prices instantly skyrocketed to over $3. And whereas high at one point, actually, I think it hit above this, but this is just what the chart is saying at 362. Now, I do like this project, and I'm watching them, and I was not quick enough on the draw to participate in Shadows, so I missed out. I paid $40 gas transaction fee and did not get any, and I was hugely disappointed, but it's just the way it goes. I actually messed up in sending the transaction. Took me a few extra seconds, and it felt like that. Wish I'd gotten some because I still want to get some. I'm excited about what Shadows is bringing to the table, but today is not a time to review Shadows. We're still reviewing the Launchpads. This is just one from the Duckstarter program. All right, on to Trustswap. Now, I like the CEO of Trustswap. He's a sharp guy, and he's been involved in the space for a while. And so he's got a great Launchpad. In fact, the dashboard looks like this, and you can stake. I don't have my wallet listed here that I have everything staked with because I like privacy in that form. But this is their current swap price, and I think in order to participate in their Launchpad, you have to have 4,000 tokens to get staked to get in the entry level, and so you're talking about 16,000, more than 16,000 to get involved in that. And so if you're interested, I realize that the price is high, but the returns are so good. So if you're able to get allocations from them, a lot of people are getting that money back several times over within a number of projects. Because not only do you have to hold enough tokens and stake them on the site, you then have to put in whatever money for the allocations that you're getting. It might be anywhere from $100 up to like $700. And then, so you're not going to even make that money back in just one, but over a period of a few, it should be well worth your while, and just keep that stake. Now, I will caution you, once 50 million are staked, in order to be able to stake, you have to wait for somebody to unstake, because their cap on what can be staked is 50 million, and they are almost there. And I remember when the founder of this was talking about it last August or something, he said there will come a time where the full 50 million are staked, and then there will be a waiting list just to be able to stake your tokens. and that there will be value in having that stake beyond what you can imagine. And we are almost there. He was right on that. All right, so now there is a total supply of the tokens, and they do have a token burn mechanism, but the initial total supply, max total supply, was 100 million. Now as they burn some tokens, which you can see here, that total supply does go down. So there's good tokenomics behind Trustswap as well. So let's move right on to the other ones. There's Polkastarter, and Polkastarter, you have to hold a certain amount of their tokens as well, and then you have to get whitelisted, and then you have to essentially get a lottery ticket. What this prevents is there's no gas war. If you get a lottery ticket, well, there's still a little bit of a gas war. You have to get a lottery ticket, and you have to be right there at the computer, because I think there are less allocation than there are people trying to get it. So even then, if you are lucky enough to get whitelisted and get chosen, you then have to be pretty quick on the draw there too, just not quite as quick. But Polkastarter is another launchpad that's launching some really good projects. Chain Guardians looks really interesting, and you can see that their total raises aren't very high, which is why it's competitive for these allocations. They're only trying to raise here 216,000. Eternity 275,000, blank just 120,000, and then it goes like that, even if you're spreading it among not that many people. And not everyone in crypto knows about these launchpads, so you do have an advantage there. Another one coming that I don't know all that much about, they I think are launching one project now, but that's Unilayer. Unilayer is an up-and-coming launchpad that we'll have to see how well they do. I think they've taken one. But there's some videos that you can check out on Unilayer if you come to their site. Now, and that's unilayer.com. And so the other one, the last one I want to get to, and maybe I had this one in the wrong order because I like the founder of Paid a lot. Super, super sharp guy. Very, very knowledgeable in the space. And Paid network isn't so much about Launchpad so much as other things. They're using smart chain agreements to eliminate, or smart contract agreements to eliminate attorneys' costs, streamline business contracts, easy and quick dispute resolution, and DeFi features to ensure that you get paid. So I love what they're doing. They added a second part of this because the founder is so smart on what's going on that they're creating the ignition part. So when I talk about the founder, I'm talking about Kyle. Very, very sharp guy. And so they're creating an ignition launch pad, or they call it ignition, where they're going to help essentially create launch pads for other projects. And I think they'll be ready for that very soon. Now their token has more than 100x since its pre-sale pricing. So they've already done some amazing things. And my guess is with the knowledge that Kyle has, he's going to help some projects hit that too. Now, like the other ones, you have to have paid tokens and you have to stake them as well. It's just how it operates. So yes, it's frustrating that you might need anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 to participate in these launch pads, and that's just by holding their token. In addition to what you then have to put in, it's just the price of doing business. I like that they are taking this out of the hands, because before all of this went to just venture capitalists who had millions of dollars, and so what they're doing is decentralizing this process a little bit, but there's still some barriers to entry. It just is what it is. I do find that the smarter the people are and the more barriers of entry there are, the less complaints you get, because people that have made that kind of money just understand how business operates. And so the barriers to entry sometimes are good for everyone, because it can be frustrating. Like when I participated in Duckstarter, and I was there and I was just a little bit slow into getting this submitted with Shadows Network, and you pay the $40 gas fee and it doesn't go through. Yeah, stinks. However, am I going to do it again? Absolutely, absolutely. And it's just the price of trying to have access to that. Now, when Duck gets their thing going with Orion protocol, that's going to eliminate that. But everyone's using the Ethereum chain right now, and that's just the problems inherent with the Ethereum chain. It isn't any of these projects' fault. They're just using the technology as it's available today. But then some of them are looking to the future and saying, how can we best resolve these problems? And the team at Duck Dao are on top of it like crazy. So I really can't say enough good about them, as well as some of the other teams like Jeff at Trustswap and Kyle at paid. Very, very smart people. Personally, I know this platform really, really well and have appreciated how smooth their system functions. So I hope that's helpful. What I'm looking at looks like this. So this timeline that we're in, I talk about these cycles because they're so important to understand when you're new to crypto. When you're new to crypto, there's a lot of other people that are new to crypto, and sometimes they get very excited and they say things like, oh my gosh, this technology is going to revolutionize the world. And they're actually right on that. But where they're wrong is they say things are just going to keep going up for forever. And it's because they haven't seen these cycles before. In fact, I was a new investor in 2017, and I also hadn't seen these cycles. So I thought, this is great. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. This is going to change the world, and it's going to keep going up. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, like it normally does in a bull market. And what I didn't understand is how drastic these cycles can be. I mean, the gains can be drastic, but also the retracements can be drastic. So in 2018, when my portfolio was getting crushed because I hadn't sold anywhere near the top, in fact, hadn't sold at all, I started to learn about the Bitcoin cycle, and altcoins kind of fall on this too. And what happens is, the year after the halving of Bitcoin, it tends to run like crazy. Not immediately, but a year later, it runs into a supply shortage. There's far more demand than there is supply, and all of a sudden the price goes parabolic. And then what has tended to happen, though we only have 2017 to really look at closely, is that altcoins, little bit after, delayed from Bitcoin, run and go parabolic too. However, Bitcoin, sometime between September to December, often then starts to have some really big retracements. And what happened last time in 2017 is that altcoins still continued to run for about 3 weeks. In fact, their biggest peak when they went crazy was right after Bitcoin peaked and then started to retrace. A lot of that Bitcoin money got rolled into altcoins, shooting them through the moon on their way to Mars, only to see about January 5th of 2018, January 4th and January 5th, the peak of many of these altcoins and a huge retracement. In fact, I have one that I can show you now, and this is Cardano versus Tether on Bittrex. And you can see, unfortunately, I don't have more history than this, but you can see that it absolutely went parabolic, and it went to almost $1.40 right on January 4th before, or 3rd, before then retracing on the 4th, and within a few short days it came all the way down to 1/3 of there before it bounced up and then continued into what we call crypto winter. Do I think that's going to happen this cycle? I do. But very key to this whole principle we're talking about with Launchpads today, not all the altcoins had their peak on January 4th and 5th. There were many altcoins that then peaked, that came out, their ICO was then released, and they saw some really big gains. I don't know if this, I hadn't pulled this up in advance, but Wanchain was one of those, and we will see if we can find something that it might have been on back then. I'd prefer to see it versus, yeah, we're probably not going to get the history we want to see. Oh well, I had to try. But it peaked out much later than that. And I do think these Launchpads will lead to many things peaking out. See, you can see, actually, you can see it here. See, there they hit some really high numbers, and this is in May of 2018. So Cardano and a lot of the things that really peaked really well during late December, early January had already retraced. And yet Wanchain had ICO during that time, but the tokens weren't available until like May. I don't remember the exact date. They're showing up on Huobi in May here, and they still were selling at a very high price before retracing. I think their ICO, if I'm remembering right, might have been, I don't know, it was below $1, and at their peak they hit almost $10, and that peak happened much after. I would imagine that many altcoins and new projects will continue to pop off even in through 2022. And so I wouldn't be surprised if these Launchpads remain highly relevant through that time, especially as they continue to develop. So I don't know about you, I'll probably be taking gains starting later this year and taking out a lot of the risk out of my portfolio by selling as it gets crazy. And I'll do more talking about that later on in this channel. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, because I will be telling you my thoughts as they happen. None of this is financial advice. I'm just a crypto investor myself, and I'm just giving you my thoughts that have helped make me successful, as well as my thoughts on the bad decisions that I've made that have led to terrible results, especially in 2017 and 2018 when I didn't harvest a bunch of my gains, and I will not be making that mistake this time. All right, I hope that's helpful, an overview on Launchpads. There's a lot more I could go into if I were to do an individual review on each of these. I have done individual reviews on Duck Dao, and you can find them in my video history. I did want to share with you some more about the channel growth, and thanks to all of you where we are at. So I want to thank each of you for joining me on this journey and joining me on this channel. I am just a crypto investor myself, and I've only been doing this for 4 years, which might sound like a long time to a lot of you and might sound like it's not all that long, because Bitcoin has been around for 12 years. Now, I do have 20 years experience investing in real estate, and some of that carried over, and some experience with stock investing, which was great. But I will tell you, 4 years ago, as a new crypto investor, I made some good choices during the bull run, and I learned some very valuable lessons, and I especially learned some valuable lessons when it all came crashing down and I hadn't taken profits and didn't take profits, and saw all those massive gains that I'd made retrace, where altcoins retraced between 95 to 99.5% from the top, and Bitcoin retraced 85% from the top. And so I guess you learn your best lessons when it's your blood that you paid for those mistakes with. And I intend not to make those mistakes this time. And when I started this channel, it was for multiple reasons. But one of the reasons was I want to share the cycles, because what I am really good at is recognizing patterns. And I want to share the cycles because as an investor myself, I do plan to and have some strategies to take profits as things are going absolutely crazy later this year. And though it's not financial advice, everyone gets to make their own decision. I wanted to share with you how I'm processing those decisions, not only on when to take profits, but how I'm processing decisions on what to buy during the middle of this bull run. I wanted to thank each of you for joining me on this journey. Look, we're almost to 6,200 subscribers, and this channel, I've only been producing content for about 7 weeks, and in the last 4 weeks, we've gone from under 400 subscribers to where we are today, which is over a 15x, and that is thanks to each of you. I am playing around and experimenting with some different stuff with video and just playing around with overall producing content. I'm new to this, so I do appreciate your patience as I learn and grow, because video production is not my background. My background is real estate investing, and for the 4 years, crypto investing. So I hope I'm trying to produce the best content I can that's also fun, but informational. All right, thanks so much for joining me. See you soon. All right, for those that are still here, you're my most trusted rainmakers, because I know some of you are still here, and so I saved the very best for last. I want to tell you where we're going with this. So I appreciate all of your support that has created this growth, and I want to tell you what you can do to continue to help me out and what I can do to thank you for doing that. Now, I'm still doing real estate deals for one of my favorite investors. I worked for them for years, and I'm still writing deals for them actively. So I'm not always at my computer, and some days I'm not even often at my computer. And so what I'm trying to create is a great let's say ecosystem, but a great, within the Rainmaker group, I really want, you know, I hope to attract intelligent people and also fun people. There's lots we can be negative about in this world, and I don't want to attract a lot of negativity. I want to attract a lot of positivity. A lot of people are new, and so there's frustrating things in this space when they're new, and some of them have questions, and I can't always answer their questions. So many of you have already been stepping up to the plate, giving them actually very intelligent answers and sharing with them your thoughts. I appreciate that too. Also, when somebody pretends to be me in the space, and if you've been around for a while, you know when it's me and you know when it's not, because of the circle around my name, Crypto Rain, so that you know, like, kind of give them a heads up, because when I see those, I try to remove them, but sometimes I don't see them for quite a while. Give those people a heads up that is not me. They should not be calling any WhatsApp number, and help square them away so they don't get hurt by all the scammers that are out there. So as a way to thank you, and this is down the road because I'm waiting for Cardano me to be able to create these, but I do have some experience creating some NFTs, and I created some very fun ones a while back, and I still know the artist, and I still know the animator, and can have them do some more. So once Cardano really has their NFTs capable, I want to make some that I'm going to just gift to some of you that have been the most helpful over this time, and that might be months away. We'll see when the timing's right, but I want to make some special Rainmaker NFTs specific for our group that I will give away a large percentage of them to those of you who have been my best supporters, just as a thank you, because you have no idea how much it means to me because of you and your strong support. And also, I see that so many of you are very intelligent investors, and I love that. I have dedicated more time than I thought I would be dedicating to this channel because of your support, and I see that I'm getting good traction with the type of people I was hoping to attract, which is smart people. I don't care what your wealth says, where it is now. The people that work hard and grow themselves and read and develop themselves, that's who I hope to attract, as well as the people that are just positive and upbeat. And some people who want to complain about everything, I hope to repel those kind of people. Either they adapt to a kind of culture of positivity and working together to learn and grow ourselves, or there's other places they can get that and other channels they can go to. So just know I have that in my mind to be developed down the road for those of you who are my best Rainmakers as a token of appreciation. Yeah, an NFT token of appreciation. So I want to thank you personally. Great. Bye.